Hi, this is Susan Regan, and this month's newsletter is on self-care. So I know self-care might seem overrated. It might seem like something that everybody's always giving you advice about, like do more self-care. That's what you need, more self-care. That's why you're fatigued. That's why you're in a bad mood. That's why you can't get anything done. Well, it's really true. I know whenever I make a seismic shift or even just get through some of my days, that the only way I can do it is with lots of self care weaved into it. And self care can be many, many different things. So when we have kids, and I don't know if everybody who's listening to this has kids, but I want you to maybe think about yourself when you were a kid. Part of the reason why we learn routines is to learn self regulation. So we learn how to feed ourselves, how to sleep, how to regulate ourselves throughout the day, how to go from fast energy to slow energy, how we pace, how we encourage ourselves. And so all of this is the model of self care. If in your childhood you didn't get a good model of self care, you're probably going to really struggle with it in your adulthood. So just hone into that and be empathetic and compassionate about whatever part of self regulation is tough for you. And know that it is a hard pattern to break, but if you work on that specific part of your self regulation that doesn't work, whether it's time management, eating well, going to sleep, or exercising, that will be your learning curve. How can you build some format, some structure, some strength in that part of your life? So self-care exercise, a very common one that I give to my clients, is to list out about 10 things that you do that make you feel really good about yourself. And one real key about self-care is if we don't do the things that we say we're going to do, even if they're the regular things for ourselves, it makes us feel really bad about ourselves. It really affects our self-esteem if we can't follow through taking care of ourselves or regulating ourselves or being consistent. So know that when you start working on your self-care, you're also working on your self-esteem. You're getting yourself to build up a trust relationship with yourself that you can count on, that you're going to take really good care of yourself. And I promise you, if you do, you're going to have more reserve to call on in those long days, in those particularly challenging parts of life that go on. So for this month, I'd like you to really focus on the 10 things that you do to take care of yourself and just watch yourself do them. And also watch how you talk to yourself about what you do to take care of yourself. So it might be encouraging. Come on, you can do that. Just go to bed. Or you can exercise a little bit longer. Watch the ways that you encourage yourself. That's also a part of self-care. I'll look forward to talking to you again. Bye for now. Hello and welcome to my newsletter. This is about self-care, and this is for folks who are deciding to divorce. So self-care is critical if you're in a dilemma and if you're trying to work out how you're going to move forward in your life, whether it's to find ways to be happier with yourself or find the strength to leave a relationship. So self-care is critical, but also the way that you talk to yourself about self-care. So I want you to think about the times that you're in the lowest of lows, when you feel like you're in that cycle where you just kind of give in to acting out, like I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do the thing that makes me feel better. I'm absolutely not. I've had a terrible day. I got into a fight with my partner. I'm feeling really discouraged and depressed, so I'm not going to do it. And these are the moments where it's going to be really critical for you to find a way to connect with yourself so that you can go into taking care of yourself. And that might be with encouraging words or just going into action. Sometimes I like to tell people to think about like 3 things that you can do to get yourself to go into action. Something that you can say to yourself to stop the negative cycle. And when we give in to ourselves and just go into maybe a depression or go into just like staying on the couch and not eating or eating junk food or watching TV too much or whatever it might be that makes you feel like it's making you feel better, but it's actually just not self-regulating, and it's going to end up that you're in that cycle that you can't break out of that feeling. Taking action breaks you out of the stagnation of not being able to help yourself. Taking some kind of action, and it can be a small one. Take a shower, turn on music, make your bed, whatever it might be. But notice when you're in your lowest of lows and you can't move yourself to a different spot, that is the part where you have to make an agreement, work on your self-esteem, which happens when you're able to do follow-through, to really be able to follow through with the stuff that you want to do for yourself. That builds trust and strength. That is the moment for you to actually take some kind of action, be it big or be it small. So self-care and deciding to divorce go hand in hand. You have to replenish and rebuild and have some reserve to get through these kinds of challenges. I'll look forward to talking to you again really soon. Hello, this is Susan Regan, and this is the newsletter for self-care for this subject, co-parenting. So self-care, of course, when you're raising kids is critical, and I know you're the last one on the list to get taken care of. I get it. It's really challenging to be a parent. If you're co-parenting with someone, you're half of the time being a single parent, and it's almost impossible to spend or pay attention to yourself. So I like folks to think about this really important skill set, which is trying to have your own timeout corner or space in your house. A lot of times we stay in the same room as our kids because we're not with them all the time when you're co-parenting. So you might want to be able to spend some quality time with yourself around your kids and train them to do that, so that your self-care might have to happen in a parallel play model where you're doing it right next to your kid. So find a space in your house where you can light a candle, maybe some incense, have some good magazines to read, or a journal, or something to draw, or whatever you might do that relaxes you, which isn't tuning out, but actually tuning into yourself. We have those activities that we think are self-care activities, which are tuning out activities, numbing out activities like watching TV or eating junk food, or just not doing that much around the house, just not really getting anything done. But then there's these other times where we can find these certain activities, and I know you probably have 3 in your mind right now that you could do, and maybe you could create them. Activities that you do that give you energy. Maybe you stretch, maybe you breathe. Maybe there's a certain friend you talk to. Maybe you journal. So I want you to really think about a few things that you can do and start practicing doing them near your kid so that you get some space for yourself and you train them to allow you to take that space. So self-care in families can be tough, but it's also a great model for your kids to see you actively taking care of yourself, because they'll do that too, and they'll realize that all the self-regulation and all the routines that you try to teach them are something that you do too. And that's for a lifetime. So bye for now, and I'll look forward to talking to you again soon. Hello, this is Susan Regan, and this month's newsletter is self-care. And this is the topic of strengthening your relationship. So you can either choose to be around your partner and in all of your depletion, or you can choose to be with your partner and try to work on taking care of yourself in that relationship while you're with that person. So that might look like really honing into yourself while you are doing partner activities. And this would be the way that you are able to further your self-care with that person. So sometimes we are in parallel play with our partners. We're doing things to take care of ourselves when we're around them, but we're also doing things with them. The difference is that you're keeping the focus on your relationship some of the time and interacting, but also on checking in with yourself throughout the time that you're with your partner. So if you're eating a really good meal, you're making sure that you really enjoy that meal, taste that meal, choose what you want to eat, and savor it. If you're exercising, that you're checking in with your body. What part of your body is having a hard time with the exercise? What part of your body really needs to move? What part of your body needs to stretch in different ways? And breathing constantly, checking in and replenishing yourself all along the time that you're in your connection with your partner. So self-care and self-regulation, as we get better and better at it and more cognizant of what we need, we can practice that with anyone who we're with. Just taking a few moments for ourselves and then also coming back into quality relationship with whoever we're spending time with. So I want you to think about your self-care as a collaboration of something that you're actually using to build yourself up when you're doing activities with other people, as a way of strengthening your relationship. Feeling better by spending time together, because some of your focus is on yourself and on replenishing yourself. And notice how that shows up in your relationship. I'm looking forward to talking to you again. Bye for now.